Hey Facebook, Amy here, coming to you with another video, and today I thought I would ask any car fanatics out there how you think you would feel picking up your dream. I know I air quote a lot in my videos, I've noticed that recently. How would you pick up? Uh-oh, that's a different video altogether. How would you feel when you pick up your dream car? So I'm not coming to you from the car dealership again. I've actually just left the car dealership because they had quite a few pickups being done today, and all of them had balloons on, all of them had big bows on. It was all very, very dramatic, but going the extra mile for customer service, making us feel special, and I'm all for that. That was great. So if you're a car person, and I am not, however, it's very exciting. I will show you my car in a moment if you stick around. All the best features as far as I'm concerned. And I just wanted to share how that feels. So to backtrack before to a time when I wasn't running an online business and didn't have quite as much money, I was traveling. When I first went traveling when I was 24, 25, and decided to stay put in New Zealand and set up life, which I guess is something I've done a few times since, like traveling, not just traveling and seeing the world, but deciding to stay put in certain places at times. The stress involved when you don't have enough money is just something I didn't ever want to experience again. So that's when my brain started sort of ticking over. How could I travel? How could I be geographically free? There must be a business I could start. And that was the subconscious thought that I had for about 10 years, up until that point. In fact, it was exactly 10 years ago, pretty much. So it would have been for 7 years I would have had that thought. And then subsequently worked overseas again and kept traveling. And every time you move somewhere, you know, there's a few costs involved with getting yourself set up. But anyway, back to New Zealand when I first got there and decided to stay put for a while. I really needed a car. I had no money. I'd left the UK with £3,000 thinking that would be enough to last me for 12 months of travelling. Therefore, quickly racked up credit card debt. And when I decided to stay, I really needed a car. So I ended up buying a $800 Nissan Bluebird. It was my best friend. It was a pale blue colour that I can only associate with the kind of shirts my granddad used to wear. It was pretty banged up, but it did the job. And I was living in a place called Queenstown, which is quite a small town, so I didn't need anything other than a runaround that was going to do the job. And it felt amazing to have that freedom again, to not have to walk everywhere and to be able to get around and explore. However, the stress of coming up with $800 at that point in time was pretty shit, if I'm honest. And it was just so frustrating not having even just the freedom of a vehicle. So fast forward to picking up my car today, it got me thinking about, you know, what money, a bit of extra money, I'm not making millions, definitely not making millions. I've got essentially now over the past 3 years, I've built a multiple six-figure business and I have a healthy income. Certainly not where I aim to be over the next couple of years, but the difference in feeling in picking up this car is amazing. And it kind of just dawned on me this morning. So I had to go to the bank to pick up a banker's check for the deposit on the car. The rest is going on finance. I had to go and get a banker's check to pay the deposit, and it was $9,000. And I literally was able to just walk in, ask for that money in check form, go to the car dealership. I went last week to decide on what car I was having, hand over the check, sign a couple of forms, and now a monthly payment or a weekly payment is coming out for the remainder. And the only reason I'm putting it on finance is because I want to start building up a credit history in Australia so that later in the year I can hopefully qualify for a mortgage to buy a house. I could have bought the whole car out cash outright, and this is not in any way a brag. It just made me so grateful for where I've got to, because that ease and that kind of peace of mind of being able to tick something off as simple as just getting a car to set myself up in a new place was just a country mile from how I felt about having to find $800 when I was traveling. I had a job, but it was a pretty low paying job. And it was just a sort of one of those light bulb moments of realizing how much easier life is with money. It's a tool. I'm not fulfilled by buying a car. It's not an emotional thing. It was just a feeling of ease and how much less stressful it is when you've got a bit more behind you. And, you know, I'm not a car person. I'll show you the car in a sec. But it is my dream car in the sense that it's come as a result of being in a position where I'm earning money wherever I go. I'm geographically free. My bills are paid. I've got that buffer in the bank. I've got enough to just enjoy life without the stress. And that was kind of the insight that I wanted to get across, because I know that for some people, buying their dream car, a sports car, a really expensive car, for some people that drives them. For me, my dream car is what I've just done. And it's a decent enough car, but it is secondhand. It's a couple of years old. It's nice and clean because the dealership have done a full detail on it, and that's great. And I just wanted to share that moment because this is a bit of a Tai Lopez style video. It was kind of intended that way, just for a joke for my online friends who would get that reference. If you don't know who Tai Lopez is, go and look him up. He always does videos in front of his Lamborghinis and stuff like that. So I'll show you around the car in a sec. But yeah, I just wanted to share that insight because it was just a moment of realizing, you know, it's not about having millions in the bank. It's about getting to a point where you're comfortable, getting to a point where you're able to do things with less stress and live your life the way you want to live it. And I'm in that position right now purely because of a 3-year journey in building an online business. And I'm just so grateful to be in that position. Don't get me wrong, I've got big goals going forward. I've actually spent the afternoon with a coffee whilst I was waiting to pick up the car, revisiting some of my goals for the next couple of years now that I've settled in and I've got myself set up. It's time to get back into work mode. So that's today's video. Can't even remember what day of my 90-day video challenge this is, but I just thought it was a slightly different take on what your dream car really means, because I know a lot of people who have, people in our community, some of our coaches and mentors who have, you know, told stories about when they first got started, the car was the thing that really drove them, and then it doesn't take long for that novelty to wear off. For me, it's this feeling of ease and just peace of mind that things like, you know, buying a car and getting set up in a house is just easy. It's ticked off and I can focus on actually enjoying my life. And the financial restriction is not something that's going to stress me out at the moment. And it's just a really nice feeling. So if you're someone who struggles to sort of picture this, what I was going through when I was setting my goals, if you're someone who struggles to set goals and see the bigger picture, and if you're happy with your life, which is kind of a struggle I've been facing recently, it's like, how do I set goals when I'm quite happy with my life? It's so important to have a goal. And the best piece of advice I was ever given by my good friend Megan was focus on how you want to feel. And that's something that became very apparent today. So I'll show you around the car. It's amazing. It's got 4 wheels. It's got, here we go. It is a second-hand Hyundai i30, which is apparently Australia's best hatchback, peeps. Look at this, check it out. It's got 2, not 1, but 2 drinks holders. Amazeballs. All right, Glenn, you're so impatient. Hyundai, yeah, man. Proper designer, proper sports car. It's got a radio. It's got aircon. I did say I wasn't a car person. I am a dream car person. This is my dream car. Yeah, not really a car person. So I was most taken by these, which will do nicely for my coffee, and for my passengers, possibly something stronger. Yeah, that's about it. So, I'll turn the camera back round. So yeah, I don't know what your dream car would be, and if that's what motivates you, absolutely go for it. But if you're someone who doesn't really see cars as your thing, which is exactly how I feel, focus on feelings, because this was kind of a silly way of combining those two in today's video. That feeling of ease that money gives you. So many people will say money doesn't make you happy, neither does being broke. And I just had those two examples of buying a car to give you today, which they couldn't be further from each other in terms of how I feel. So get out there, decide how you want to feel, and decide what you're prepared to do to experience that feeling. I'll catch you in day whatever it is next. No idea. See ya.